they are. All these Hollywood stars fast. So you wonder why all these Hollywood stars so thin and why they look so good and why they look so young. Here they are 40 years old and they look like they still 30. Why? Because they fast and they don't eat this carb garbage. So stop admiring them and start doing what they do. They do it. And they look good and they are healthy. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter what time it is, your time, I'm just grateful that you're spending some of that time with me. This is Kingdom Queen Talk, and I am Lady Tay, the Vision Queen. Guys, we got so much to talk about. Let's talk. And Saints, I am so glad that you're here. I just want to take the time to say thank you. Thank you so much for following this channel. And thank you new folks for watching tonight. And I know that I have been putting a lot of clips and posts online, and a lot of you are new subscribers. And I just want to take the time to thank you so much for thinking about me and following this channel. Because guys, we're not just building a channel. This is a community. And I just want to welcome you to the Diamond Strong community. We're building something, guys. And I'm just glad that you're with me. And I'm not alone. And you're not alone. Well, tonight we're going to talk about fasting. I know a lot of you guys have been excited about the fasting teaching. But I had to lay the foundation down, just like I told you guys on the first video. Because if you're just doing fasting and you don't know the reason why you should do it, it's going to be very hard. But because you guys got some knowledge about why it's important to finally get off of this carb garbage, you're going to do just fine. I'm very excited for you guys. I'm very excited because I know we're going to get a lot of testimonies, and I'm very excited about that. Just make sure that when you get those testimonies, you let me know so I can celebrate with you, because I'm not just here just to teach. I'm here to motivate and inspire you and to help you catch a vision of a better life, and that is the kingdom life. Because when you get your bodies right, you're going to be ready, start to get ready to get into your kingdom assignment, because some of you got some very great destinies. I know, because I prayed about you before I even started this YouTube. God has showed me that people that's going to be coming here are going to be some people that gonna have some great destinies. And I'm so humble that God trusts me to be your destiny helper. And I'm so grateful for that. I really am. And I'm so grateful of the fact that I have done something to inspire you, for you to even take the time to come to this channel, to even to subscribe. And I'm just grateful. That's why I take the time, guys, to do the research. I do the reading, I do the research, because I have to give this work excellence for the Most High, for the Lord my Father, and also for you guys. Because whatever I'm showing you guys, you can share with your family. You could be the one to change the whole trajectory of your family. And that is very, very, very important to me. Because I know I have a Joseph anointing on me. But I know quite a few of you guys as well. You are going to change the destiny of your whole family. So that's why I take the time to make sure that I do the research and do whatever I can to help you and be your destiny helper. I'm your sister girl, okay? So thank you so much. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started on our topic tonight. Yes, the power of fasting, guys. And that is the Vision Queen, okay? She's so excited. She's like, she's so excited because for you guys, not just for me, not just for my testimony, but for you guys. You're going to have some powerful testimonies, and I can't wait. I already got my Zoom account ready. I cannot wait to get some of you on Zoom so that you can motivate and inspire the rest of us. I can't wait to get these testimonies. I'm already speaking it into existence, y'all. I'm speaking it for you because I want you to believe in yourself. You can do it, and you will do it. Because you have support here. You have support. You have me. I didn't have anybody but my husband and the Lord. Because we didn't trust anybody else to talk about this with. We didn't want anybody to talk me out of it. So at least now you have a coach here and also a minister that can pray for you. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm praying for you guys to be successful, and I know you will be. So use my testimony to help motivate and inspire you, but you're going to create your own testimony, and I am so excited. Zeta girl, I gotta call you out. She's already lost 20, probably 20 plus pounds at this point. So, just by watching the videos, you can just watch the videos all the way through, and I'm telling you, you will get some results. You will get some results. So just stick with it, okay? Well, we're going to go ahead and get started tonight because we got a video. So I want to go ahead and get you started, okay? Y'all, this was me just 7 months ago. Can you believe that? Just 7 months ago. So I just want you to think. I want you to catch a vision right now. If I can go from this to what you're seeing here now in 7 months, can you imagine how you're going to look in 7 months? From the day you start fasting? Just catch the vision right now. Man. Some of y'all gonna be bad, boy. I can't wait to see. Y'all gonna be like, bang, bang. Okay? You're gonna be snatched. Go on and snatch them kingdom bodies. This is snatch back season. Go on and snatch up them kingdom bodies, okay? You can do it. All you gotta do is just start fasting. Get off this carb garbage, y'all. This carb garbage is what's been holding us up, y'all. It's been holding us up, been holding a lot of us back from our destinies, So that's why I'm so passionate and I teach on here. That's why I get on here and teach the way I do. Because it's time out for that. It's time for you to get into your kingdom assignment. So it starts with you getting healthy. You get healthy, you get into your kingdom assignment. Yes, indeed. I'm excited. Y'all, we are diamonds. We are diamond strong. Yes, we are. We are diamond strong. And one thing about being a diamond, okay? You got to go through the process of getting cut. You got to get cut. And that's a painful process. First, you go through the fire. Then you get isolated in the cold. And then when you do get discovered, you go through a cutting process. Well, God is cutting us. He is cutting us and polishing us to make us pristine, just like this diamond. You're going to be cut like this. So one thing about fasting, it cuts you. So I just have to warn you now. You're going to have some days where you're going to feel like you're going to give up. But don't you give up. Don't you give up. Hey, The best is yet to come, okay? You go through your process. You got me. And we're opening up the community. You are God's masterpiece, set apart, handpicked. You are handpicked, anointed and sealed by God, our Father. You are precious. You are priceless. Never forget that. You are unbreakable because you are diamond strong, baby. You are diamond strong, baby. You can do it. You can do it, and you will do it because you in the right place. God sent you here because he know that you are diamond strong, okay? You gonna do this, and you gonna be just fine, baby. This is after my process. This was 40 days after I went through my 40-day fast, and I'm holding up my diamond. Not this diamond, the big diamond behind me. I'm holding up my diamond as a reminder to myself, because I didn't share this picture with anybody at the time, to remind myself that I got through it. I got through those 40 days. Now, I'm not telling you guys to do a 40-day fast. I am a minister, so I had to go through the cutting process. Just like Jesus is our template. I did the 40-day fast because I knew I had to help other people. And because of my destiny of helping so many other people, I had to get through a lot of demons. You may not need to go through a 40-day fast. So I'm not telling you to do a 40-day fast, okay? But I knew that in order for me to do what I needed to do, I had to get through it, okay? So don't do anything like that unless the Lord leads you to do that. Some of you can cut that addiction in 3 days. Some of you can cut through it in 7 days. So you may not need to do that. But one thing I do want to suggest, I want you to consider keeping fasting as a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle, y'all. A lifestyle change, because this is something that us saints should have already been doing. But because of all the lies, and I will show you some of these lies too. I don't say anything unless I'm going to show you the proof. Some of these lies told us that fasting is bad for us, but we have been fasting since human beings have been here. Since, I heard 3000 BC. It's the record that we find that people have been fasting. We're built for this. So for them to tell us we can't do it and it's dangerous and you shouldn't fast, no, you shouldn't just do it if you have all these health problems already. But we are built for fasting because our ancient man, where we come from, our ancestors, they didn't catch stuff every day. So some days they had no choice but to fast. We're built for this. And I'm going to show you the proof tonight on what happens when we do fast. Because when you look at it, what's dangerous is eating this carb garbage. That's what's the danger. Okay? So I'm going to show you. Change is mandatory, y'all, to get extraordinary results. So in order for you to go from this lump of coal, I don't think you're a lump of coal. This is what the world think. But who cares what they think? God don't think that. But in order for you to feel good about yourself and go from that to being a diamond, you have to do change. I wrote on a piece of paper that I am change before I even started my fast. I didn't want to just change. I am change. I am a change agent. Whoever I talk to, I want them to feel change just by being around me. So change is mandatory, y'all. This was me back in 2015. I tried diet after diet, y'all. Every freaking diet you can think of. I was the walking poster board for everything. Anybody saw me that was selling anything that was diet related, I was the target. Oh, let me try to sell her some diet pills and this and that. I grew up because I was a heavy kid. I grew up with diet pills because me and my mom were always on some kind of diet. Diet this, diet that, but it's already in the Bible what we're supposed to do about our bodies. It was already there in the scriptures. But see, we get caught up with what everybody's saying in the world. But we need to go to God because God is our source and He leads us on what we're supposed to do. So that was me. Like, I've always lifted weights, as you can see, but below covering up all my muscles was fat. I tried everything, y'all. I tried vegan, I tried vegetarian, I tried diet pill after diet pill. I tried everything, hydroxycut, anything you can think. It's a wonder my system didn't break down. But see, God kept me. He kept me all these years because he wanted to use me one day. Thank God for that. Thank God for that, because the way I abused my body, and a lot of us can testify, He sure did keep us around, because if it was up to us, we would have been out of here. And I am the one that can testify that, because I had put so many different garbage in my body over the years. It's a wonder I never had any of those ailments that a lot of people end up having. God, I'm telling you, I know I'm a walking miracle, okay? If somebody say they don't see a miracle, you looking at one right here. I'm a miracle. And some of you are miracles. I bet you some of y'all got some testimonies about what you've been through that you can tell me as well. You gonna get your chance. Yep. If you have not seen this video, some of you that are new to the channel, I was nervous. That was my very first video, so since the fast. So make sure you watch that video, okay? Just take your time, get through it. I know it's a long video, but just try your best to get through it, okay? And that's my full testimony. Not the Diamond Strong one, but this one is talking about my fast and how I ended up doing that, okay? Okay, 2 Corinthians 2:11, because this is also part of the Ignorance is Not Bliss series. I'm going to read this. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And y'all, he really pulled the wool on us for many years on this garbage, sugar. I'm telling you, I've already exposed on the last videos how sugar is one of his devices, okay? So is flour. We're going to get more into flour. I took a break from that so I can do this fasting video, because I'm finna go in real deep on this, y'all. I'm finna touch on the sodas. I'm sorry if you love sodas, but I gotta tell the truth. I gotta tell the truth. I used to love sodas too. I used to love how the carbonation just felt smooth going through my throat and all that stuff. But hey, we need to know, because we are killing our livers with this stuff. If you kill your liver, you gonna die. I'm gonna be honest with you. So you gotta know what you're putting in your bodies and what it's doing to your organs. So I'm exposing the sodas, and I'm exposing a lot more. I'm not done. But you want to know. See, ignorance is not bliss. It's not bliss to be ignorant. You don't want to one day go to the doctor and they tell you that you got cirrhosis of the liver, or you have to have a replacement kidney. You got to know this knowledge. And not to mention, you got family members that probably drink this stuff. They need to know. So, I have to expose this. Like I told y'all before, I am a kingdom queen with a microphone, and I'm going to use it. And I have to expose the devil's devices. I have to do it. Somebody got to do it. So I have to do it. Now we're going to watch this video because I don't care what you heard about weight loss. You're going to have to relearn what you learned. And I'm telling you, I done all these diet things. I thought I knew what I was doing. I had to relearn everything, y'all. You don't understand how I felt when I had to relearn everything. But you're going to have to relearn a lot of things. And I'm telling you, it's going to shock you what you have to relearn. We never heard this from a hormonal side. We always heard count calories. I'm telling you, I'm exposing the lies. It's always a lie somewhere. And I'm going to find it. So we're going to go ahead and play this right now. One moment. Lady Tay going to find the lies. Because I told y'all already, I've always been a curious little girl. Now I know why.
To lose weight, and how fasting and working with a coach or a friend can really help you achieve those goals. It's coming right up.
Y'all got me.
I'm just going to go over sort of an overview so that you can get an idea of how to approach this very difficult problem. So the first thing we need to understand if you're going to try to lose weight is what causes weight gain in the first place. If you don't know the problem, you can't come up with a solution. Most people think the problem is just calories, so therefore the solution is simply to cut the calories and count the calories. Unfortunately, this has been a very unsuccessful way to lose weight. Over 90% of people who do this don't lose weight. And the reason is that our bodies actually don't respond to calories. If you eat a certain food with a certain calorie amount, your body has a decision as to what to do with those calories. It can store it as body fat or it can burn it as body heat, for example. Which one it does, of course, has a huge impact on how much body fat that you gain. And that's why it's more important to focus on the hormones that are involved in telling our bodies to gain weight or lose weight. The main hormone that we talk about is insulin. Insulin is a hormone that we produce when we eat. And that hormone tells our body to store some of those incoming calories. And we can store it as sugar and we can store it as body fat. We know this is important because if you have a person and you give them insulin, almost everybody will gain weight. And it doesn't matter what you eat, what you don't eat. It doesn't matter if you have willpower or don't have willpower. You'll gain weight. Why? Because I gave you insulin. If you have a disease, such as untreated type 1 diabetes, where you simply don't have any insulin, it makes no difference how much you eat. Your body simply doesn't have the instructions to store body fat, so you'll keep losing weight, and if you don't get insulin, then you'll die. So what's important is not the calories, but the instructions as to what to do with those calories. The other hormone we talk about is cortisol, which is also they called the stress hormone, because again, if we give people cortisol, such as a medication called prednisone, people gain weight, almost everybody. And if you have a disease such as Addison's disease, where cortisol is very low, then you'll lose weight. So to keep your eye on the ball, you always have to think about the hormones. Are you telling your body to lose that body fat, or are you telling your body to gain body fat? Because if you're eating foods that cause a huge spike in insulin, that's the instructions for your body to gain body fat. At thefastingmethod.com, we use an approach that has sort of 3 pillars of weight loss. knowledge, environment or systems, and emotions. Most people think that they just need to understand the right diet, but the knowledge part of the equation is only a small part of the overall picture of how you're going to lose weight. When we talk about knowledge, we want to know the right diets to eat. And there are three basic levers that we can push here. You can change what you eat, you can change how much you eat, and you can change how often you eat. And if you do one or two or three of those things, that can be very successful. If you do all three, you'll be probably most successful. But it's not to say that any of those are not important. Remember, this is all to do with the diet. So how does fasting help with this? Well, it simplifies things for you because in terms of what you eat, it makes no particular recommendations. How much you eat is very simple, it's 0. And how often you eat, that's what you control. So it makes it very simple for you to lose weight. Remember, when you fast, that is the most powerful stimulus to lower insulin because no food is coming in. But in terms of knowledge, that's not the whole story because it's not just about insulin. It's also about cortisol. So there are also non-dietary factors that you have to consider that might be impairing your weight loss. For example, if you aren't getting enough sleep, well, you're going to have a problem because you're going to be under stress, which is going to cause your cortisol to go up. If you're under constant stress, for example, that is also going to cause you to gain weight. And maybe it causes you to stress eat and so on. And again, dealing with it is completely different because these are non-dietary factors. So dealing with stress, you might do things such as talking to a friend, you might do things such as meditation, you might do things such as yoga, getting a massage, taking a hot bath, going for a walk. Those are all very effective ways to deal with stress. Getting enough sleep is another very effective way to take care of those factors. And you won't understand that if you didn't understand that it's all about the hormones. So understanding the proper diet, what levers you can pull in terms of your diet, what levers you can pull in terms of stress relief and sleep, well, those are very important, and knowing it is very important, but it's simply not enough. The second main pillar that we talk about is the environment or the systems, because just because you know that something is good for you doesn't mean that you're going to do it. We all know that eating cookies is not slimming, but many of us still do. Well, why is that? And a lot of times it's the environment, because it's not just about willpower. If you have no access to those cookies, well, you're not going to eat them. If you're in a meeting, for example, at work or at school, and you're bored and there's a plate of cookies in front of you, you might not be hungry, and you might know full well, you have knowledge that cookies are not going to make you lose weight, but you'll eat them anyway. Why? Because they're there. If there was no cookies there, you wouldn't have eaten them, but because they're there, you did. Well, that's very important information because now you can change your environment so that you are not going to look at them. If you're going to the coffee shop to get yourself a coffee in the morning and they have all sorts of donuts and baked goods and things that are very tempting, you might be tempted to get it. Well, if you know that, then maybe you can make a change. Maybe you don't get the coffee from the coffee shop. Maybe you put a coffee machine in your office or at school, or you bring it from home. And you do that because you know that that's going to prevent you from getting it. And this was some of the secrets in the 1970s when people were not really watching their diets but staying slim. Their environment was not conducive to gaining weight. People didn't eat in the car. People didn't eat at the office. People didn't eat in front of the computer, and therefore they were never tempted. They only had 3 structured meals, and that was it. So fasting can really help sometimes in trying to determine what sort of environment it is, because you're getting yourself out of the kitchen. You're getting yourself out of the pantry. You're not trying to cook and so on. The other thing is that it builds a system, a framework of how to eat. So you're never wondering, should I eat or shouldn't I eat? When you do fasting, you know that, hey, I shouldn't eat. I'm only going to eat once a day or twice a day, and that's it. Nothing else. There's none of this, how many calories do I have? So I have a few calories, so I can have this, and then I'll cut down some at dinner. There's none of that. So the fasting really helps build that framework for you, just like in the 70s. You eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and no other times. And you don't eat desserts all the time. It helps you build that framework. And this is where having a coach or a friend to talk to can really help, because they can really go through and look at the environment that you're in, look at the systems that you have. Hey, do you have a problem area? Do you have a trigger? Maybe you have something that triggers you into eating. Well, once you identify it, then you can eliminate that trigger. And it's not about willpower, it's about eliminating a trigger. Maybe watching TV, watching people cook on TV is triggering and makes you go to the kitchen and eat. Well, you can watch something else. Maybe you like those shows, but if you want to lose weight, maybe you can switch to some kind of other TV show or movie instead. Well, that's a simple thing to do, and it doesn't involve willpower. It just involves identifying those problems and then changing it. And the third key pillar is emotions. And what I mean by this is that we eat for many different reasons. And hunger is only one of them. We pretend that it's the only thing that matters in terms of eating, but it's not. We eat for two main reasons. One is because we're hungry. In fact, that's actually the least important reason that we eat right now. The more important reason is we eat because food tastes good. So we want to eat, not because we have to, because we're hungry or we're malnourished. We do it because it's pleasurable. And sometimes this goes overboard. So dealing with those emotions like food addictions, for example, triggering foods. If you eat sweet things, maybe you get triggered and you overeat. Some people might be feeling kind of sad, for example, and they use food as a crutch because food is a reward. It stimulates dopamine. So you eat those comfort foods like cookies and ice cream, you feel a little good about yourself. So if you're feeling a little down, well, hey, you might decide to go and eat. Well, that's going to make you gain weight. But it wasn't that you lacked the knowledge to do it. It wasn't that you lacked the systems. It was because your emotions needed to be identified and dealt with. And again, that's where working with a coach or a friend can really help you through the food addiction. Fasting is also very useful in dealing with addictions because by cutting out all of those foods completely, you help break that cycle of addiction. Addiction is not about giving a little bit. Like if you're trying to stop drinking alcohol, the solution is not to slowly cut down a little alcohol, because at some point you're just going to go backwards. The key is to cut it out entirely and then put in the supports that are necessary. Again, you have to recognize that we're social beings, and we do things better when we have supports, emotional supports from other people. And that's where working with a group, working with a friend, having those people to talk to can be so important. And that is really the basics of how to lose weight. It's about having the knowledge, about identifying the environment and the systems, and identifying if there's emotional factors, and then bringing things into play that can help with that, such as positive psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy, and that's where a coach, such as we have at thefastingmethod.com, might be very useful to helping you through some of these issues. If you want more information about any of these topics, you can check out my YouTube videos. I've got a number of videos, especially talking about how insulin plays a huge role. And that's just the outline of how to think about weight loss. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next week.
See, a lot of the things that I've already been talking about, he touched on. And I have been studying Jason Fung's information for quite a while. He was one of the doctors that the Lord has showed me, um, that I told you about. See, when you're fasting, the Lord can talk to you. And I've been studying his books, the Obesity Code. Oh, yes, there is a code. And I've been studying the Diabetes Code. Okay? So he has some wonderful information. Like I told you guys last time, leaders are readers, so we have to start reading more. And if you're on this channel, I already know that you're a leader. You're here for a reason. God wouldn't send you here if you weren't gonna be a kingdom ambassador one day. So, we have to study. We have to study to show ourselves approved. And all of the pillars that he was talking about, that is my method that I do work with my clients as well as with you guys, the free information. So if it seemed like why Lady Tay is talking so much about triggers or talking so much about this, because I'm actually giving you sort of like a group coaching type of thing that you can self-reflect about yourself on. And it doesn't cost you anything. It only costs you time and effort. So, we have to really study ourselves to find out, do we have this addiction? Are we emotionally eating? And what are our triggers? That's why I talked about triggers when I was on the treadmill. And like he said about the hormones, very important. If you're not sleeping, your cortisol level is going to go up. And that's why you probably notice if you're up all night and then the next day you're hungry, that's your cortisol level. It's going to make you eat more. It's going to make you eat more junk food along with the insulin. So you got two things going on. You're eating the fattening food, the carb garbage already. You're eating that. And then on top of that, because your cortisol level and your insulin level are up, guess what's going to happen? All that carb garbage is going to go straight to your gut. So now we know why we have this big, tired looking fat around our waist. That's where that's coming from. And it's coming from the sugar that we're eating that the liver cannot digest. So it says that's poison and it tries to take it out. Your liver's trying to save your life. That's why we're going to talk about the liver. But because the liver can't digest it, it pushes it right to that belly fat. So now you know why we have all of this here. I had it, y'all. I had all of that. I'm still got a little bit left. I'm not in the danger zone anymore according to my scans. I'm out of the danger zone. So I'm very close to not having that visceral fat. But that visceral fat is very dangerous. You have to try your best to get rid of that, because that's where all this diabetes and all that stuff is in this book, y'all. That stuff is in this book, and that stuff is in this other book. Metabolical. All this stuff I'm talking about, these are doctors that have been in the field for a long time. This is not Lady Tay talking. This is the stuff that I learned from studying. So I'm telling you, I will not show you anything on here or tell you anything that I can't show you the proof, because God has showed me these doctors, not for me. He showed me these doctors so that I can help his children, which are you. And he wants you to be free. He wants you to be free, y'all. I'm telling you, he loves you so much that he wants you to be free. And that's why you are here. Hallelujah. Tell the Lord hallelujah. Guys, we're going to talk about this wonderful, wonderful word called autophagy. And this is one of the things that I was telling you about. See, scientists, they're finding out things that God has already been talking to us in the scriptures all this time. And why not? Why would he not tell us this? He created us, right? He knows best about our bodies. He knows what we need. He's our father. So he's already been telling us about what to do. And autophagy is a process in which a cell eats its own content. And it's like your body is recycling itself. The best analogy I like to think about with autophagy, because it means self-eating, I like to think of it like, you know how we have a self-cleaning oven, and when you want to do your self-cleaning oven, you put it on high heat, and then it burns all the garbage, all the grease and stuff, and it turns it into ashes. And then all you have to do is just wipe it clean, and your oven is clean. That's what's happening in our bodies when we have autophagy going on. And the best way to have autophagy is fasting. Fasting renews your body. It takes all these garbage cells and even cancer cells and all these different waste material cells that are in your body, including wrinkles, including all these things that's going on in your body. When you don't eat for a while and your body goes through autophagy, it eats the dead cells. You don't think God knew that when he tell us to fast on a regular basis? It's part of us. It's part of our well-being. So autophagy is a beautiful thing. He said right in our scriptures, I will satisfy your desire and renew. What that big word say? Renew your youth like the eagles. And that's Psalms 103:5. That sounds like autophagy to me, okay? Because he wrote in the scriptures, even Christ said, he said when you fast. He didn't say if you fast. But see, we treat fasting like okay, I feel like it. No. Christ said when you fast. He said when he leaves this earth, his disciples will fast. That is part of us. That's what we're supposed to do. Every religion does fasting. Every religion. I don't care what religion you're looking at. Every religion does fasting. But for some reason, us Christians think that we're not supposed to fast. That's a lie from the devil. Because he don't want you to fast. Because when you fast, you can think. Your body is not focusing on digesting all that garbage that we keep eating. You able to actually use your brain when you're fasting. You can think. Your body can think, and your body renews itself. It's cleaning itself out. It's cleaning all the garbage out. First of all, the waste in your digestive system. Your body finally get to rest and clean. Self-cleaning, like a self-cleaning oven. It gets rid of all the garbage cells. That's why one of the main things people said to me after I fasted for a while, we're not even talking about the weight loss. One of the main things people have been telling me is I look younger. And yes, I don't only look younger, I feel younger. I feel younger, and I am younger. Fasting makes you younger. The wrinkles go away because it's eating. The autophagy causes your wrinkles to go away. So you would think with me going through the weight loss that I have, just think about this. I lost 110 pounds or reduced my weight 110 pounds in 7 months. Where the sagging skin at? Now, any other garbage food diet that they tell us just count our calories, just count your calories. Weight Watchers, any of them. When someone lose weight rapidly or fast, like I did, they have sagging skin. You have all this, the sagging skin, and I don't have none of that. Why? Because of autophagy. I'm going to play a video about autophagy. It eats the dead skin. It eats the excess skin. I don't have sagging skin. You would think I would have that. I don't. Fasting does that for you. Fasting is a miracle. And these Hollywood stars that we all adore, all these Hollywood stars that we all adore, we like, oh, why they look so good? Why they so thin? Okay? In this book right here, I'm telling you, I read a lot. In this book right here, this man brags. You recognize his brand. He makes the apple cider vinegar and all that. Him and his I think that's his niece. They talk about in this book all these movie stars that will come to their ranch and pay them money to help them do fasting. That's the reason why a lot of these Hollywood stars, even Halle Berry, she's keto. So we're so scared. Oh, keto this and fasting this. The Hollywood stars doing it. That's why they look so good. They look so good because they're taking the principle out the Bible that talks about us fasting, and they're using it. And we're in the church so scared to go a whole day without eating. But the Hollywood stars, Phyllis Diller, all these, because this is old. All these Hollywood stars, they fast. They're in the book. Jack LaLanne, all these Hollywood stars, because this is old, so it won't be no Hollywood star from here, but they are. All these Hollywood stars fast. So you wonder why all these Hollywood stars so thin and why they look so good and why they look so young. Here they are 40 years old and they look like they still 30. Why? Because they fast and they don't eat this carb garbage. So stop admiring them and start doing what they do. They do it. And they look good and they are healthy. So they doing it. So we admire these people, but they're doing that. So I'm going to play this quick video and then we're going to be wrapping it up, okay? Because this is very important. You guys need to understand what autophagy is, okay? Give me one moment. I'll pull this up. I'm explaining it, but like I said, these are doctors. So you can't say that Lady Tay only said, nope, I played the proof. I played these doctors. Okay?
Today I'm going to talk about autophagy, how fasting not only helps you lose weight, but also activates autophagy. We're going to talk about what it is and how it can make you healthier. And it's coming right up.
Please listen, y'all.
What is autophagy? The 2016 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to Dr. Yoshinori Ohsumi for his discoveries on autophagy. The word derives from the Greek auto, meaning self, and phagein, meaning to eat. The word literally means eating yourself. It's the body's mechanism of getting rid of all the broken down old cellular machinery, such as the organelles, the proteins, and the cell membrane, when there's no longer needed or they're not functioning well. It's a regulated, orderly process to not just degrade these parts, but to recycle them. Proteins are broken down during the process of autophagy, and then taken to the liver where they're burned either for energy or they're broken down into amino acids. Amino acids are the cellular parts that make up proteins. It's sort of like when you take a Lego and break it into the bricks. You can then take those bricks and build something new. And that's what the body does with these proteins. The proteins that are no longer so functional or they're very old get broken down into amino acids. The amino acids can then be reassembled into new proteins rather than keeping the old junky ones. Autophagy is a survival mechanism under conditions of stress, and it maintains the cellular integrity by regenerating these metabolic precursors and clearing out all the debris. It sounds really bad to be breaking down proteins because we always think that building is good and breaking down is bad, but that's not the right way to think about it. Think about the process of renovating your bathroom. Say you have a really old tub and sink and they're from the 70s and they're avocado green. Well, if you want to renovate it, the first thing you need to do is get rid of them all. You got to throw it all out. Then you can put in your new sink and your new tub and so on because you've made room for it. And that's the same thing that happens in the body. We don't continually grow once we're adults. We maintain the same size, but in order to function well, we have to get rid of the old proteins and replace them with new proteins. So that's what autophagy really does. It's the process of cellular regeneration, and autophagy is that first critical step in breaking down these old proteins. How does autophagy work? Once it's initiated, the proteins and the old cellular debris that the body just doesn't want anymore gets targeted for removal. Then it gets enveloped into a compartment called the autolysosome. And this prevents all the destructive processes from spreading all over the cell. And it gets contained within this compartment. This compartment then merges with something called a lysosome, which is filled with all these destructive enzymes called hydrolases. When they merge, all the hydrolases go down and they break down the proteins into their component amino acids, just like taking apart that Lego structure. Then, from there, you can recycle those amino acids into new. This review article from the New England Journal of Medicine reviews all the ways that autophagy is important in human health conditions. In fact, it's increasingly recognized that autophagy plays a key role in both aging and disease. There are several ways that autophagy does this. There are different types of autophagy. There's lipophagy, which is the regulation of lipid metabolism. It also suppresses inflammation. There's agrophagy, which is clearing out these old misshapen protein clumps that can really clog up the machinery of the cell. There's xenophagy, which is destroying these proteins that are related to infections, such as degrading bacteria and viruses. And finally, there's mitophagy, which is the process of regenerating mitochondria, which are those powerhouses that generate energy for the cell. And when autophagy is dysregulated in some way, it plays a role in all of these different diseases, such as metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes and obesity, pulmonary diseases like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, neurodegenerative and aging diseases such as Alzheimer's and Huntington's chorea. Alzheimer's, for example, we know that there are lots of protein aggregates in the brain, and perhaps if we could clear them out, it's possible that we could even prevent these onset of Alzheimer's disease. Autophagy also plays a role in infectious diseases because of its role in breaking down viruses, bacteria. Vascular diseases, this is heart attacks and strokes. It plays a critical role in keeping our body healthy, keeping those blood vessels nice and supple, and clearing out all those aggregates of proteins and cholesterols that clog up our arteries and cause heart attacks. And cancer. Cancer is also a disease of too much growth, so clearing out these old things and replacing them with new things might be a way that we can prevent certain types of cancer. Now that we know how important autophagy is, the question is, how are we going to activate it? We know that autophagy is very highly regulated. Too much is not good, but too little is also not good because you're not going to activate that rejuvenation process. The key is nutrient deprivation. Our body has certain hormonal messengers that are nutrient sensors, predominantly insulin and something called mTOR. These tell us that, hey, food is available. So if we eat, for example, carbohydrates, insulin will go up. If we eat proteins, like amino acids, then mTOR goes up. And it gives the signal to the rest of the body that food is now available and we should grow. On the flip side, when we don't eat, such as when we're fasting, both mTOR and insulin are going to go down. And it sends a signal that, hey, no food is available. Let's hunker down, slow down the cell growth, and go into this regeneration maintenance mode. For autophagy, mTOR is the key regulator. It integrates the information from nutrient availability, hypoxia, that's oxygen, growth factors, and insulin. And when mTOR is high, it gives a signal to go ahead and grow. When it's low, it says slow down growth, and that's when you activate autophagy. The most efficient way, therefore, to activate autophagy is to restrict those foods. You can go into a very low protein diet, but then you run the risk of not having enough protein to build what you need for muscle and other body parts. So fasting is actually the best way to activate autophagy. First, you're not getting any protein or any other nutrient signals. So therefore, you're maximally lowering mTOR and stimulating autophagy. But fasting does more than that, because as you break down those subcellular parts, as you activate the autophagy, fasting also stimulates growth hormone so that when you do eat again, your body is now primed to replace all those proteins that you need. It's ready to rebuild. So that process of breaking down the old, getting rid of the stuff that's junky and replacing it with new is actually called rejuvenation. And that's what fasting does. Interestingly enough, fasting has always been considered to be a rejuvenative process. People have been fasting for thousands of years, and in the past they call it a cleanse or a detoxification. And that's exactly what autophagy is. Fasting allows your body to clean out those old proteins that it doesn't need. It's just now that science is catching up. And now we understand how fasting can be part of good health by clearing out all of those excessive proteins through the process of autophagy. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something, and if you did, maybe share it with a friend. They might be interested in it too.
All right. Now let me tell you something. Jason Fung ain't nothing to play with now. He has, like he said, the fastingmethod.com. He is a kidney doctor, a nephrologist, and he's been helping thousands of patients fasting. He even helped a lot of his patients that were diabetic no longer are diabetic. And I already told you my husband's testimony about how he doesn't have to take his diabetes medicine no more. And you heard what he said. It's like you going through a renovation process, and then you're rebuilding, rejuvenating. So now you understand why these movie stars and all these people that just seem like they never age, now you understand why. Because they don't eat this carb garbage, first of all. And second of all, they fast. They may not fast as long as Lady Tay has fasted, but they do eat like maybe once a day. That's part of fasting. They do a lot of intermittent fasting. A lot of intermittent fasting. We eat too often, y'all. This 5 or 6 times a day to eat is wrong information, and I got proof about that too. I will be showing, but not tonight. Stick with me. I'm gonna show you all this proof. I'm gonna show you all the lies, because we've been lied to, y'all, and that's why we're so sick. We just keep trusting what these people have told us and trusting the doctors and all this. And there's nothing wrong with trusting doctors, because we need doctors, but a lot of doctors, even Jason Fung has admitted, they only get 1 semester of nutrition. That means people like you and me that do a lot of studying about nutrition know a lot more than a lot of these doctors. Now, I can tell you that for sure. Most of them don't get that much nutrition schooling. They have to specialize to want to go further in their education to get nutrition. They really learn about diseases and how to treat them as far as writing prescriptions. You have to do your own research. You have to look for solutions for your own problems. We have to, as saints, train our brains to become problem solvers, solving our own problems. Because if we keep looking for the media, keep looking for the television and all that to do it, you're not going to be able to do it through that. I'm sorry. They're not going to show you those things. And there's a reason behind that. Follow the money, okay? Follow the money. Guys, you don't have to start. Like I said, you don't have to start doing a 40-day fast. Don't do that. Lady Tay has been fasting like a day sometimes, 3 days sometimes, over a course of a year and a half before I did that 40-day fast. So my body was already used to me practicing. So you could say those was practice. I've been fasting since 2019, doing like 3-day fast here, 1-day fast there. So I was able to take flight when I did, because I've been practicing. So if you haven't fasted before, just start by not eating breakfast, like I said before, because I told you insulin is your breakfast. So, start there. Then start skipping breakfast and lunch, and then do a whole day. So you gotta start by breaking the habit, because you think you're hungry, but those are habits. That's not hunger, that is habit. Break the habit first, y'all, okay? We're gonna get through real fast. But I beat my body and bring it into suggestion, lest by any means, after I preach to others, I myself should be rejected. So the reason why I read this is because this keeps me doing what I'm doing. I cannot preach this to you guys if I don't do it, okay? If you lack wisdom, ask God, who generously give it to you, okay? So like I told you, it's already in the scriptures about fasting, okay? Sugaring is addictive as cocaine. We talked about that already. I wisdom dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. So if you want to know why we cannot think, why we can't come up with these inventions and all this stuff, is because we don't fast. You can think of things to create when you fast. You get sharper. I couldn't read the way I read until I started fasting, y'all. Our brains are too preoccupied with this carb garbage, y'all. Get off of this garbage. And I've already talked about this, about how the brain scans showing that we don't have no dopamine. And dopamine is what gives you drive and motivation. We're going to go more into this book, Dopamine Nation, because there are things in here that you need to understand about dopamine. We have to get our hormones right, y'all. We have to get our hormones right. We talked about autophagy, the fasting, the power of fasting. That's why I named this slide the power of fasting, okay? Beloved, God has chosen you from the beginning. So you are chosen. You're called. You're chosen. That's why you're here. That's why you need to hear this information, because you got to be the first one in your family to start this. Once you start this, your family are going to see your results. They're going to see how healthy you are. The ones that have sense, okay? You know, we all got the ones that's like rebellious, like what, no matter what you do, they ain't gonna look, whatever. We ain't worried about them. We concerned about the ones that we can reach, okay? You got to be the first one. I already told you guys that these are the rulers, okay? These are the rulers of our food. I'm gonna have a whole video talking about this, okay? We have to be careful. Their food is deceptive. We gotta learn how to read these labels. So we're gonna have a video about that. We got so many. I got like 5 pages of topics we're gonna be talking about. So believe me, we're not gonna run out of things to talk about. I told you, I'm a kingdom queen with a mic, and I am going to use it because we need to learn. Nobody is talking about this. I don't understand it, but it's meant for me to talk about it, okay? Why not me? I went through hell with my own weight, yes, and losing my grandmother to this carb garbage. So I have a whole lot to talk about with this, okay? It affected me that much. I am an overcomer. I overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony, okay? I am an overcomer. I am not the old me. I am a new person, okay? I look like a new person because I am a new person. And I leave that old story behind. And that's what I want you guys to focus on when you're fasting. I want you to focus on right now your vision, making it plain of who you know you're supposed to be, because the Holy Spirit going to tell you who you're supposed to be as you write that down. And I want you to be prepared to leave that old person behind. You have to let the old man die. You're going to have to let the old man die. I let the old woman that I had in me, the carb addiction, the sugar drug addiction, all of that died during fasting. And I don't want to go back, and I'm not looking back. I only talked about it because of my testimony. I have to share my testimony when I need to share it. But other than that, I am no longer emotionally connected to that old me anymore, because I'm not hurt anymore. And that's how you're going to have to be. Okay? That's how you're going to have to be. Yes, we are finished. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to put all his information in the comments so you can click on those videos and go back and take notes, because you have to be equipped when you're doing this fasting. And before we go, I don't get a kickback from them, okay? Get you this, make sure y'all can see it. I have a monitor I look at, okay? It's called Keto Chow. You can find it on Amazon. It is a concentrated sodium and magnesium. You just put a few drops in your water when you're fasting, and that will keep you from getting, that will keep your electrolytes up where you won't have cramps in your legs and stuff like that. It's very important that you keep your electrolytes up, okay? I don't want y'all passing out and fainting and all this stuff, okay? I gave you the information, all right? If you can't get that, put a pinch of pink salt in your water if you start feeling cramps in your legs, okay? So y'all can't say Lady Tay didn't tell you. That's what I use. I use keto chow, and I just put a couple of drops in my water when I'm fasting. I don't have to do it all the time. Just, maybe every other day I put that in my water, okay? Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go because it's been over an hour. And I'm going to do another video. So you see the other video with the same clothes on. I'm doing multiple videos in one day, okay? Guys, you can do it. Don't give up. And if you fall off the wagon and eat, start over again, okay? Don't stop. Just start over again. Keep starting. Keep starting. Don't give up. People give up too easily. Anything that's worth having, you're going to work for, okay? If you want to be a diamond, you have to get cut. And getting cut in this way is fasting, okay? Well, if you can think it, you can see it, okay? Let me get to my screen. I like to be close up when I talk to you about that. All right. If you can think it, you can see it. And if you can see it, you can be it, baby. Manifest. Become everything our Father has created you to become, because you have greatness in you. You are great. You are a kingdom ambassador. You are great. You got the good stuff in you, baby. It's time to go ahead and bring it on out. Come on, Diamond Strong family. You can do it. I love you so much, guys. More than you know. That's why I do this. I love you so much. And God loves you even more than you can ever know, okay? I'm here for you. You know how to reach me. This has been Kingdom Queen Talk, and I'm Lady Tay, the Vision Queen. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Diamond Strong, okay? Have a good night. Or morning, or whatever time it is your time. Okay?